what is the magic solution so that when people do these training programs with us, whether it's board and train, whether it's one-on-one, how do I avoid any problems once the dog goes home? Which the more I dug into it and the more I did these virtual consults and the more the years went on and I improved the work I was doing and stuff like that, you start realizing that there is no magic solution for that, right? These are a way of life, right? These issues that you may experience, because that's a part of coaching the person to adjust their relationship with their dog, right? So I've seen a couple of those dogs we talked about last time since, and the cool thing that I look for now is not that everything is perfect as soon as the dog goes home, but that as we're doing these follow-up classes with the owner, that I could see them grasping the issues that they're making that are leading to the problems they're having and making the adjustments that they need to, right? Yeah. Which, with all of these dogs, we've noticed massive strides. With one of them in particular, so I saw yesterday, this was the first one we talked about last time, I believe, this dog, River, who was having the reactivity issues. I mentioned I went to their house to do the walk around the neighborhood, and I saw that there was just like no direction being given, and that was the root of a lot of the reactivity issues. We saw her yesterday, and we started off, we went for a walk. Obviously, the weather has been kind of shit lately, so like she hasn't seen tons and tons of dogs, but she has been able to make the adjustments we discussed as far as fixing the positioning and being more firm on the positioning. And the walk was literally perfect, right?
Heck yeah.
All corrections were given at exactly the right time. The motivation of those corrections was perfect. We saw one dog while we were out on the walk the first time. We kind of chased him down. This is the funny thing, too, is like, it always works out where it's like when you're looking for dogs, you can never find them, right? But when you're not looking for them, like before you start training, it's like they're everywhere, right?
Time.
You can't avoid the dogs. So we were looking for dogs. We finally found one. We had to like literally basically chase them down. We like jaywalked across the street and then like ran like a block down basically so we can get ourselves in position and get ready for the pass by. Same deal. Perfect. Lined up. Boom. Sit. Right. Got him into position. Dog came by. Didn't even look at the dog. It's perfect. Right. So from there, we, because we weren't going to see that many dogs on the walk, we decided to push it a little bit, go to the pet store with her. Right. Same deal. Hands off. I don't think I touched the dog the entire time. Walked in the pet store, gave her a quick little coaching before we walked in as far as, hey, you know, just because we're going into, because sometimes this idea of like going to a pet store, right, especially if you have a reactive dog, can be so daunting. It's like, it's like you get it in your head that it's so much different than anything else that you were doing out on the street. When in actuality, it's not. Just the psychology is different, right? You feel like because you're inside of somewhere and somewhere where you're normally going to see other dogs, it's like you're going head first into the fire, right? Yeah. And that the escape is like, you know, not as easy.
Yeah.
Right. So went into the pet store, same deal, right off the rip. Nice, good direction. I think he tried to pull over to sniff some of the treats one time, gave a nice, good correction, set that tone. Saw probably 3 or 4 dogs in that pet store. Same deal. Not a freaking peep. At one point, they had like a grooming station. They had this freaking Great Dane, this giant dog that came like barreling out of the grooming station, like pulling the owner down and stuff like that. And we were like 6 feet away from this dog. Didn't even look, right? So this is, and it was such a massive success because she was like, this is awesome. Like I feel so much more in control, right? I feel like, you know, I just understand what I'm looking for now, you know, and that's the missing link, right? You got to be able to see it. You have to see how, when you're doing it wrong, how it's not working, identify the mistakes, and then see as you adjust those mistakes, how things start working.